Hey y'all, how's it going? Haven't done a check. That's Gremlin in the background. Uh, I'm trying to figure out where it is that cats actually learn how to meow, because any cat that I've ever had from a kitten, they don't meow, and especially the guys, they squeak. Boy cats squeak. I haven't quite figured that out. I've been kind of just sitting here trying to figure out what it is that I want to say because there's too much happening in here. Uh, and I know someone's going to tell me, step away, take a break, whatever. I'm about to go to bed, so, you know, a break is coming. Uh, but there's like a lot of shit going on. Like a, I apologize for the vibrating. Uh, Piglet has decided to investigate the camera light. Um, and I realize again, we all know this is part of the strategy and the plan and the overwhelm and all these things, but these are like serious things that are happening, right? Um, our community is directly under attack. Fortunately, hopefully y'all saw the judge, uh, whatever the formal word is for stopping the transfer of 3 trans prisoners in federal prison uh, into, like, at birth identity, whatever the places where they don't belong, right? Uh, so tiny bit of good news at the end of the day, but there's so much happening, and I think some of this is very distracting, like Yamhead talking about taking over Gaza and this is not to say that I don't think it's a threat. This is not to minimize what's happening, but it's so ludicrous that you have to stop and like let your mind believe it. Sybil said something in a post the other night that really hit me. It's like, we don't want to believe any of this stuff. We're like, oh my God, the world has gone kilter, and we're like in a movie. And we have to actually, I think, stop and let ourselves believe or accept that just a lot of this stuff might be as bad as we think it is. If not, we're not going to defend it hard enough, first of all. But that doesn't mean that it's easy, right? It's like the brain is just over here exploding around. I cannot believe all of this is happening all right in this moment. And at the same time, I can believe it because, like, hello, they told us what they were going to do. I think the biggest thing that we're not prepared for is the method, right? We did, and not allowing ourselves to believe what we were seeing. So it's all kind of all in there at the same time. It's all together, which does not make for good nights of sleep. I see every video. It's a little bit deeper, a little bit. It's coming. These saggy, baggy eyes are just getting more and more. Uh, you know, but yeah, it's just it's overwhelming, um, and we still have to function, right? We still have to function. There's a little similar feeling. I remember having this at the beginning. I can tell I'm rambling already. I remember having this feeling and talking to other people about this at the very like in the very early parts of the pandemic. Of you're just like, why has the world not stopped turning? Well, why has the world not stopped turning to deal with this thing sitting in front of us? Like all the mundane stuff is still happening, and we're still going to work and planning registration and talking about stages and like artists and all that. Like, why are we still? Wait a minute, hold on. That's the way it feels. Don't get me wrong. We're not stopping doing any of those things. We are well into some planning at this point. Um, because as I don't remember if I mentioned this last video or not, um, pride is power. Pride is power in our community. Now, I don't just mean everybody showing up and being pissed off. Uh, we're not talking about a riot, right? Um, but pride, just putting on pride and just being present at pride and just accomplishing what we accomplish with pride. And by we, I don't mean just Pride Northwest. I mean just in general. There's power in there. And especially in this city, in this region, we have power in what we do at Pride. And I promise you, that is a big focus of mine and the rest of us over here to ensure that we're putting that to the best use possible. Because, yeah, it's about being strategic and owning the power that we do have, and making sure that our community is not pushed aside, at the least, right? So, all of that work is still happening. And there's a little thing on the side of my head that is still like, oh my God, why hasn't the world stopped turning? So it's a little overwhelming periodically. And I know I'm not the only one. I text with friends. I have a friend in California who is like, sends me like, oh my God. And we're just, oh my God, for 5 minutes. And they're like, okay, now back to work. So, but it's interesting. I definitely don't have, deep words of wisdom and all the rest. I'm still doing the same thing that everybody else is doing. Like, what exactly am I doing here? Okay, what do I need to be, what do we need to be planning for, right? What do we need to be prepared for? What are the steps that we need to be taking right now? And I realize that, yes, there's the calls and the showing up and I get all that. It's not about how do we respond. That's not what I'm talking about. There's a deeper, the word escapes me. There's a deeper question around trying to find that balance of not overreacting, because then you lose control, right? Like, overreacting isn't helpful because you lose control of what you're doing. But at the same time, this really sort of deeper, longer termish, worst case scenario, not going to be the person living under a rock, need to make plans. Or at least need to have a framework of a plan or a strategy or something. So, don't ask me what that answer is, because I haven't gotten there yet. But it's just this sort of unrealness to the whole thing that, and I don't mean unreal as if, like, okay, it can't really be happening. But there's a subconscious thing in there that's like the world has just gone sideways. And, and then I have conversations with folks, and there's still this stupid, self-promoting, petty crap that happens in our community, that it's like, what, somebody's head is stuck up somewhere, not paying attention to the country burning over here, and we're gonna have a little petty power struggle right here. I'm like, I don't have time for that. Do not have time for that. Do not have the patience for it. And will absolutely not forgive or forget those games being played when it brings harm to our community and disempowers our community at a time when we need to be the most powerful. Um, they're just games that happen in this community that, I try and stay clear of. A lot of it I walked away from a long time ago. Um, and I still see it, and I still know it's there, and uh, I'm just not playing that game. If I don't care if you're queer or not, if if you're acting in a way that is completely selfish and disregarding of the rest of your community, I don't have time for you. I don't have time for you at all. Um, because that's not community. That's that's the people that we're all having a heart attack about because that's what drives them too. So what's the difference? If what you're doing isn't putting community ahead of your own personal interest, I'm not talking about ahead of your personal safety, or I get the whole like put your mask on before. That's not what I'm talking about. But if your ego is what's driving you, and you're willing to throw community under the bus for your own ego, that's what I don't have time for. Because how is that different? How is that different? You know, um, yeah, that's a whole. Uh, this is a big old vague booking video now. Um, because we don't have time for it. We are past time for those kinds of games. We either pull community together and uh, get out of the silos and get out of the ego, or we might as well just go home and give it up, because that's we're our own worst enemy, and we're going to be our own demise if we're not careful. Um, because those games don't work anymore at any level. They just don't work anymore. Uh, all right. I don't think I was planning to get on that particular soapbox, but there it is. Uh, okay. Well, I'm gonna go to bed, and y'all should probably do the same. Because tomorrow's gonna come whether we're ready or not. Y'all be careful in the morning and watch for the ice and this and that. I don't think it's gonna be like bad, but we also don't want to be stupid. But watch out for the next couple of days, and yeah, I'll talk to you later. Bye.